bringing you a new story. Kafka and the Doll by Larissa Thiel, illustrated by Rebecca Green. One autumn day, the writer Franz Kafka and Dora Diamond strolled through a park in Berlin. Kafka held a basket filled with potatoes and a jar of milk. His hat was set at an angle, and he worked deep in thought about two things: a story he was struggling to finish, and lunch. He kicked through leaves, pulling at the collar of his shirt and pausing to cough into his handkerchief. Nearby, a girl stood crying. Kafka said, "Why the tears?" "My doll is lost," said the girl. "I see," said Kafka. "What is her name?" "Supsi. And you are?" "Irma." Kafka nodded. "I thought as much. Your Supsi is not lost, but traveling, as dolls like to do. She wrote you a letter?" Irma frowned. "Where is the letter?" "At home, in the pocket of my overcoat," said Kafka. "I'm a volunteer postman, you see. I'll bring you the letter tomorrow. Just now I'm off to lunch." Irma frown deepened. Kafka said, "Potatoes, if you must know." The following day, Irma waited. Kafka delivered the letter. October 23, 1923. Darling Irma, forgive me for not saying goodbye. The bicycle was passing, the basket lay empty, and I did not think. I simply jumped in. I've always been one for adventure, as you know. Please do not be cross. I am on a train on my way to go hiking. The air here smells like those flowers your mother likes so well. I never did learn the name. You're always in my heart, Supsi. Well, said Kafka. She went hiking. He nodded. It's a beautiful time of year for hiking. She'll write again, of course. People on adventures like to tell about them. October 24th, 1923. Irma, I hiked to the very top. As I write, I'm watching the sunrise from above a cloud. The world turns softly purple, which is not my favorite color. But when the world wears it, I think it's just fine. You are always in my heart, Supsi. And, said Kafka, she hiked to the very top. Bravo. October 25th, 1923. Hello, I'm in Paris and have eaten croissant for breakfast, lunch and dinner. In fact, I have eaten nothing but what pleases me since leaving Berlin. How can I face a carrot stick when I might have a peppermint stick? What use to me is a bowl of peas when I might have crème brûlée? You're always in my heart, Supsi. I don't understand this drawing, said Irma. Kafka studied the postcard. Obviously, it's the countryside. Here's the cottage, a goat. Irma took back the card. It's a rabbit, not a goat. Yes, said Kafka. I see it now. Supsy travelled to England and had tea with Peter Rabbit. In Barcelona, she joined Gaudi for his daily work. He knew wonderful things about architecture. In Morocco, she had warm sponge and mint tea. She tried to ride a camel but wasn't sure how and dodged neatly away when it spat at her. She visited the pyramids in Egypt and wondered at the vast expanse of beauty and sand stretching out below, writing to Irma that her heart was hurting in a way that told her it was growing. November 8th, 1923. Dearest Irma, I'm riding down the Nile on a boat with my new friends. They are teaching me Arabic and I'm teaching them German. Salam, S. Why so unhappy? Said Kafka. All of me is growing, said Irma. Mama says I need new shoes. Kafka studied his own shoes. These were lost. Leaves blew in little cyclones around their feet. Kafka pulled out his handkerchief. My grandpa had that cuff, said Irma. It never went away. One day, Kafka did not visit the market, and so he did not work through the park. Irma waited. She worked home. Again she waited. Again she worked home. Where is Herr Kafka? Demanded Irma. He has a headache behind his eyes that won't go away, said Dora. But never would he neglect his obligations as postman. A letter for you from your Supsy. November 11th, 1923. Irma, keen on traveling though, I miss you. I miss you like apples miss their trees. You're always in my heart. I hope I'm always in yours, Supsy. You are, whispered Irma. You are pale, said Irma. Kafka smiled. You miss nothing? Hesitantly, Irma held out her hand. A certainty came over. This letter would be the last. November 12th, 1923. Dearest Irma, I've signed on for an expedition to the desolate ends of Antarctica. The journey will be long and arduous. My job is to break up the ice with a pickaxe so that the boat can go through. Letter writing, I fear, will be impossible, and so this is goodbye. You are bold and you are brave, and I am proud to have been for a time your beloved doll, your Supsy. Irma folded the letter. She left on an expedition. Expeditions are grand affairs from what I understand, important discoveries to be made and all that, said Kafka. She won't be back, said Irma. All through the park, barren trees poked fingers into the belly of the grey sky. Someday I will travel, said Irma. I'd like to ride a camel, be on guard for spitting. I know about that already. And carry a notebook and pen with you wherever you go so that your adventures remain, said Kafka. His soldiers folded in as he coughed. Irma waited. Kafka straightened his smile gentle. Goodbye now, Irma. Goodbye, Herr Kafka. Their warm breath clung fiercely to the cold air, then blew softly away, one to play and explore, and one finally to sleep. Franz Kafka was born in 1883. He was the only son of a middle-class Jewish family living in Prague during a time of rapid social and industrial change. He was a sensitive and observing child. He had three sisters and was especially fond of the youngest, Otia. But he never felt close to his father, whom he regarded as harsh and intimidating. Kafka lived to write. He used everything around him as inspiration for novels and short stories, including family and friends, current events, physical surroundings, and eventually his work as a lawyer for a government insurance agency. He was an avid letter writer and kept a detailed journal. Honest, trusting relationships meant a great deal to him. He was a devoted friend and brother, but he also constantly in and out of love. During his lifetime, Kafka published some of what he wrote to critical acclaim, but his fame didn't come until after he died. Thanks to Dora and his good friend Max Brod, Kafka had instructed Dora and Max to burn his papers. Dora did burn as some as requested, but kept others. Max Brod burned none. Instead, he published and championed his friend's work and thereby gave a great gift to the world. Kafka viewed life through a sharp, probing lens, and stories he wrote are disorienting, even nightmarish. His novella Metamorphosis is about a young man who slowly turns into a giant insect, much to the disgust and horror of his family. But even now, nearly a century after his death, the plots and themes of Kafka's stories will still resonate. Sometimes life is a bewildering journey.